Welcome back to Winging It Buffalo Style. We're talking astronomy and out-of-this-world sights this morning as we take a look at a natural phenomenon that will grace the night sky tomorrow evening. We're talking about the total lunar eclipse. Right now we are joined by our expert for the morning, Will Kinney. He's a physics professor at the University of Buffalo. Everyone's talking about this lunar eclipse, but our weather forecast might impact our being able to view it.
Looks like it might get clouded out. Yeah, we'll have to see. But luckily there's going to be 3 more of them over the next 2 years, so that we'll get another chance to see them.
Explain to us why we're having so many lunar eclipses. There's going to be 4 in the next 2 year span, you said.
This is a phenomenon called a tetrad. So this means that there are 4 lunar eclipses separated by about 6 months each. So the lunar eclipse happens at the time of the full moon, when the Earth is between the moon and the sun, and the moon passes into the Earth's shadow. And because of the way the orbits are lined up, the moon's orbit is tilted about 5 degrees relative to Earth, so that every 6 months the moon is going to be in a position where it's going to pass through the Earth's shadow at the time of the full moon. So there will be another in September of 2014, another one in April of 2015, and another one in September of 2015.
So mark your calendars.
Yeah, the September 2015 one is going to be the nicest because it's going to be visible in the evening in Buffalo.
And how do you know that? How do we know that that will be the nicest one?
Just from the time of day.
Okay.
Because the one that's going to happen tonight is going to be late. The eclipse is going to start about 1 in the morning. The total eclipse is going to be at about 2 a.m., lasting until about 3:30 in the morning, and then the eclipse will be completely finished by about 4:30 a.m. So you got to get up late to see it.
And is it lucky? Is a lunar eclipse lucky?
Depends on who you ask. Different cultures view it as being a good omen or a bad omen. So, for example, in Japanese tradition, they cover their wells in order to prevent poisoning from the fumes from the lunar eclipse.
But other people see it as
on the other hand, Hindus believe that during the eclipse, all of the waters and all of the rivers of India are holy in exactly the same way that the river Ganges water is holy. So that it depends on your perspective.
And what do scientists think?
In science, it's just a matter of orbital dynamics. So now that we have science, we understand that these aren't omens or prognostications, but they're just a very beautiful phenomenon that occurs because of the alignment of the orbits of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun.
And this one's supposed to be especially beautiful if we can see it, because they're calling it a blood orange lunar eclipse.
Right. This is common in lunar eclipses, where when the moon is completely covered by the Earth's shadow, it turns a deep red color. And the reason for that is because the Earth's atmosphere is bending the sun's light around. And essentially what happens is, if you were standing on the surface of the moon, you would see every sunrise and every sunset on the planet all at once. And so that you would see all of these red sunsets around the ring of the Earth.
It really is just fascinating to think about. Is this something that will be close enough, because it's happening with a full moon, that people will be able to take a picture of or share the memory?
It's easily visible with the naked eye. You don't need any special equipment to look at it, although a pair of binoculars would be handy, but you can just look up. If the sky is clear, you'll look up and you'll see the moon gradually disappearing and then turning red as it enters the period of total eclipse. It might be a little hard to photograph unless you have a camera with a good lens, but try a cell phone shot, you might get one.
It's one of those things that makes you think only in Buffalo would a lunar eclipse in April possibly get snowed out.
Yeah, that's astronomy in Buffalo for you.
How is the astronomy field in Buffalo? What kind of classes do you teach, and how do your students like the field?
It's physics and astronomy right now is very popular among undergraduate students, and UB has a really thriving undergraduate and graduate population of students. And so I teach classes both all the way from introductory astronomy classes for non-majors all the way up to specialized classes for graduate students and things like general relativity. And so
Takes me back to my freshman year of college at Syracuse University. I took an astronomy class for non-major and I got an A, so humble brag this morning.
All right, awesome.
Thank you so much, Professor Kinney, for being here today, and enjoy the eclipse if we can see it.
Let's hope it clears up.
All right, absolutely. Let's go back over to Emily Lenahan now for our next .com check.